About the Purple Revolution. This question says, I'm curious if you've picked up on the Purple Revolution discourse. Essentially, Trump voters are voicing their regrets and starting to see things for what it is. Some people on the left are trying to invite them in, and other people think they should be pushed aside. So I'm not even going to really talk about the Purple Revolution. I still think that needs time to develop, and I've seen a lot of people having some concerns. But here's the thing with cults. I'm Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. I've written 2 books about cults. You can get signed copies of Uncultured attached here, or listen to me read it to you on Spotify Premium, about cults, right? When somebody leaves a cult, you have a choice. And I want to be very clear. You absolutely do not have to forgive them. Forgiveness is not necessary for your own healing. That was made up by Christian pastors. That's not a thing. In fact, you can't even have forgiveness without apology and attempts to make amends, right? So you do not have to forgive them. But when somebody comes out of a cult and they are realizing they've been brainwashed and they are realizing what they fell for and they are realizing a decade of bullshit that this man has put them through, you have one choice. Accept them or don't accept them. And if you don't accept them, you will usually push them back into a cult, into another cult, or to take their own lives. So here's the story. In 1993, a man went on Larry King Live, and it's an episode called The Family, Preachers or Pedophiles. And he talks about the children of God, and he talks about how he was forced by the leaders as somebody in the leadership commune to sexually assault a 10-year-old girl, to rape a 10-year-old girl. And he was forced by the leaders to do it, right? And he's trying to explain this to Larry King Live. And that man thought he was going to get some understanding. He thought he was explaining how bad it was and what they do to control people. Children of God is the cult I grew up in, by the way. And he thought he was going to get some understanding. And Larry King looks at him and he goes, "And you did it?" Okay? And I am not justifying what that man did, because that 10-year-old girl was my mother. But that man took his life pretty quickly after that, because he knew what he had done was horrible. And he also knew he hadn't done it under his own influence. He'd been under the influence of coercive control, and he needed understanding. So I'm not saying you have to forgive them. I'm not even telling you what to do. I'm just saying, as we go through this next 171 weeks, more and more people are going to be waking up, right? The promise of a cult is always a lie. So during the 4 years of Biden, we weren't having a lot of people waking up because they could say, well, when our guy's back, he's going to come save the world. But now they've seen every promise fail. They've seen everything turn bad, right? So more and more people are going to be waking up. Your choice is to accept them or not. Trying to make them pay, trying to make them understand what they did right at the beginning. If you accept them, eventually they'll understand what they did. And they will have all the guilt and all of the grief. You don't have to worry about that. But if you don't accept them, if you try to make them pay, there are consequences. That's just the truth.